Let me tell you the story of a man who hit rock bottom and crawled his way back up through the sheer force of will he had. He grew up in a broken home. His father was abusive, and his mother was unable to protect him. He had a speech impediment that made him the target of ridicule from his peers. He was overweight. He had no real direction in life. But then, after years of adversity, depression, and parting with his mother, something changed. He decided to join the military. He knew he needed change, and so he started training. But he wasn't in great shape, and he failed miserably the first time he tried to get in. He was told that he had sickle cell trait, which is a condition that affects the red blood cells and makes it harder to process oxygen. But did that stop him? I don't think I need to tell you. He started training again, puking his guts out and carrying on, pushing through the agony and self-doubt. His thoughts crept in, telling him, I'm not cut out for this. But he had everything to lose. He had a shitty job and he didn't want to live that way. He knew this was his only shot. So he finally lost the weight, barely made it into a SEALs program, and eventually made it through Hell Week, which is one of the most grueling training programs in the world, but he wasn't done yet. You're going to have to suffer to go from here to there. Most people never understand the journey, he said. He decided to become an ultramarathon runner, which is a race that covers over 100 miles in a single day. He had never run more than a few miles at a time, but he didn't let that stop him. He trained for months, and eventually he ran 100 miles in 24 hours, and he did it through sheer force of will. That man was David Goggins. David Goggins didn't just have natural talent. He had to push through incredible pain and injury to achieve his goals. He once ran a race with broken feet and ankles, and he had to get to the hospital right after finishing. But he didn't stop. He didn't give up. So how can you achieve the same level of discipline as David Goggins? It starts with setting goals for yourself. If you feel you're a person that can get through the pain, fight to not be that person. You need to have a clear vision of where you want to be in life, and then you need to create a plan to get there. But discipline isn't just about setting goals. It's about having the mental toughness to stick with those goals even when things get hard. David Goggins says, "The mind is the most powerful thing in the world. The mind has capabilities that are so unknown, and being able to tap into that is on the other side of suffering. That's the key. You need to be willing to suffer in order to achieve your goals. You need to be willing to push through the hard times and keep going even when you don't want to. You need to thrive on pain, on discomfort, because the truth is suffering and discomfort are a part of life. You're not getting away from them. Spreading yourself too thin. We all have a limited amount of time and energy, and if we try and do too much within that time and energy span, we're not going to be able to achieve our true potential. This is a lesson that many people have to learn the hard way. The great example is a man who thought he could do it all. He wanted to be a professional athlete, a successful entrepreneur, and a great family man. He was trying to be the jack of all trades, but he ended up being the master of none. This man was always busy, always on the go, always working on something, always chasing his dreams. But the truth is, he was spreading himself too thin, and it was holding him back from achieving his true potential. You can't cook an omelet if the house is on fire. The reality is that in order to be part of the 1%, you need to have laser focus. You need to be willing to put in the time and effort to become the best in a given area. You can't try to do everything at once, or you'll never be able to achieve your true potential. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He didn't try and do everything at once. He was focused on making the best products possible, and he did it better than anyone else. He was obsessed with perfection, and he wasn't afraid to make tough decisions in order to achieve it. Or take Henry Ford. He revolutionized the auto industry by focusing on one thing, making cars that were affordable and reliable. He didn't try to make airplanes or boats or anything else. He focused on making the best cars possible, and as a result, he changed the world. You need to find your passion and commit to it fully. You need to be willing to put in time and effort to become the best in your field. then you need to be willing to sacrifice other things in order to achieve your goals. The great Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." You need to find your kick, and you need to practice it until you're the best in the world. Neglecting growth and learning. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is thinking that education ends once you leave school. They believe that once they've reached their degree, you don't need to learn anything else, but the truth is, education and learning should never stop. I had two friends who graduated from college together. They both had the same degree and the same opportunities ahead of them. One of the friends, we'll call him Tim, believed that he didn't need to learn anything else. He had his degree and he was ready to start his career. The other friend, we'll call him John, had a different mindset. He believed that learning never stops. He read books, attended seminars, and sought out mentors who could help him grow. He was constantly seeking to improve himself, even though he already had a degree. Fast forward a few years, Ted had hit a wall in his career. He wasn't advancing and he wasn't getting any new opportunities. He wasn't willing to put in the work to grow, not just in his career, but as a person. Learning means not only mastering your field further, but expanding in all horizons of your life. John, on the other hand, was excelling. He had taken on new challenges. He had become an expert in his field, and he was constantly learning. And as a result, he achieved amazing things, and, well, continues to, naturally. The lesson here is that neglecting growth can hold you back from achieving your full potential. There are two mindsets when it comes to learning. The first is a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their intelligence and abilities are set in stone. They don't believe that they can change or improve. This is dangerous because it holds you back, keeps you in the same spot forever. The other is a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset believe that their abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. They believe that they can improve and grow no matter what their starting point is. A person who knows a lot about a field realizes he knows very little. And on the other side of the coin, the person who knows little is under the misconception that, he knows a lot. In the words of the great Albert Einstein, "I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious." You need to be passionately curious. You need to be constantly seeking to learn and grow. You need to have a growth mindset, and you need to be willing to put the work in to achieve your goals. Embrace fear. I know it sounds scary the way I just said it, like a fucking demon, but embrace it. Don't let it hold you back from achieving your dreams. As the great Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Don't let fear control you. Take risks, step outside your comfort zone, and do things that scare you. So, what are you waiting for? Turn off that phone, laptop, whatever, and start. The journey has to begin now, and it should. I know from personal experience, if you're at any point saying, "I will get to it tomorrow," assume that you're going to say the same thing tomorrow and get it done today.